It's Maria from Still Dreaming Homestead. Happy to be back with you. We're going to continue reading in our book, On the Banks of Plum Creek by Laura Ingalls Wilder. We're on chapter 19 already, The Fish Trap. And I got to tell you, this is so cool. One of my favorite chapters, something I thought would be really fun to do. So, let's begin it. The more Laura was told about school, the more she did not want to go there. She did not know how she could stay away from the creek all day long. She asked, "Oh, Ma, do I have to?" Ma said that a great girl of 8 years old should be learning to read instead of running wild on the Plum Creek. "But I can read, Ma," Laura begged. "Please don't make me go to school. I can read. Listen." She took the book named Millbank and opened it, and looking up anxiously at Ma, she read, "The doors and the windows of Millbank were closed. Crepe steamed from the door knob." "Oh, Laura," Ma said, "you are not reading. You are only reciting what you've heard me read to Pa so often. Besides, there are other things to learn. Spelling, writing, arithmetic. We call that math a lot. Don't say any more about it. You will start school with Mary Monday morning." Mary was sitting down to sew. She looked like a good little girl who wanted to go to school. Just outside the lean-to door, Pa was hammering at something. Laura went bounding out so quickly that his hammer nearly hit her. "Whoop," said Pa. "Nearly hit you that time. I should have expected you, though, Flutterbudget. You're always on hand like a sore thumb." "Oh, what are you doing, Pa?" Laura asked him. He was nailing together some narrow strips of board left from the house building. "Making a fishing trap," Pa said. "Want to help me?" "You can hand me the nails." That was a job I used to get to help my dad do sometimes. One by one, Laura handed him the nails, and Pa drove them in. They were making a skeleton box. It was a long, narrow box with no top, and Pa left wide cracks between the strips of wood. "How will that catch fish?" Laura asked. "If you put it in the creek, they will swim through the cracks, but then they will swim right out again." "You wait and see," said Pa. Laura waited till Pa put away the nails and hammer. He put the fish trap on his shoulder. "You come with me and help set it." Laura took his hand and skipped beside him down the knoll and across the level land to the creek. They went to the low bank, past the plum thicket. The banks were steeper there. The creek was narrower, not as wide. Pa went crashing through the brushes. Laura climbed, scrounging under them, and there was a waterfall. The water ran swift and smooth to the edge and then fell in a loud, rushing, crashing, splashing sound. From the bottom, it rushed up again and whirled around. Then it jumped and it hurried away downstream. Laura would never have tired of watching it, but she must help Pa set the fish trap. They put it exactly under the waterfall. The whole waterfall went into that trap and boiled up again, more surprised than before. It could not jump out of the trap. It foamed through the cracks. "Now you see," said Laura. "Now you see, Laura," said Pa. "The fish will come over the falls into the trap. The little ones will go through the cracks, but the big ones can't." They can't climb back up the falls either. So they'll have to stay swimming in the box till I come and take them out." At that very minute, a big fish came slithering over the falls. Laura squealed and shouted, "Look, Pa, look!" Pa's hands in the water grabbed the fish and lifted him out, flopping. Laura almost fell into the waterfall. They looked at that silvery fat fish, and then Pa dropped him into the trap again. "Oh, Pa, can't we please stay and catch enough fish for supper?" Laura asked. "I've got to get to work on the sod barn, Laura," Pa said, "and plow the garden and dig a well and—" Then he looked at Laura and said, "Well, little half pint, maybe it won't take long." He sat on his heels and Laura sat on hers, and they waited. The creek poured and splashed, always the same and always changing. Glints of sunshine danced on it. Cool air came up from it, and warm air lay on Laura's neck. The bushes held up thousands of little leaves against the sky. They smelled warm and sweet in the sun. "Oh, Pa," Laura said, "do I have to go to school and see how the fish, see the little waterfall, how they set that trap?" "You will like school, Laura," said Pa. "I like it better here," Laura said mournfully. "I know, little half pint," said Pa, "but it isn't everybody that gets a chance to learn to read and write in cipher." Cipher is adding and subtracting. "Your Ma was a school teacher when we met, and when she came west with me, I promised that our girls would have a chance to get book learning. That's why we stopped here so close to a town that has a school. You're almost 8 years old now, and Mary's going on 9, and it's time you begun. Be thankful you've got a chance, Laura." "Yes, Pa," Laura sighed. Just then another big fish came over the falls. Before Pa could catch it, here came another. Pa cut and peeled a forked stick. He took 4 big fish out of the trap and strung them on the stick. Laura and Pa went back to the house carrying those flopping fish. Ma's eyes were round when she saw them. Pa cut off their heads and stripped out their insides and showed Laura how to scale fish. Scale is on their skins, and you brush them off like this against the grain, and they come flickering off like, oh, they're kind of almost see-through, but they're very thin and they're hard. He scaled 3, and she scaled almost one of them. Ma rolled them in meal, probably cornmeal, and fried them in fat, and they all ate those good fish for supper. "You always think of something, Charles," said Ma. "Just when I'm wondering where our living is to come from, now it's spring." Pa could not hunt in the springtime, for then all the rabbits had little rabbits, and the birds had little birds in the nests. "Wait till I harvest that wheat," Pa said. "Then we'll have salt pork every day. Yes, by gravy and fresh beef." Every day after that, before he went to work, Pa brought the fish from the trap. He never took more than they needed to eat. The others he lifted out of the trap and let swim away. He brought buffalo fish, pickerel, catfish, and shiners, bullheads with 2 black horns. He brought some whose names he didn't even know. Every day there was fish for breakfast, and fish for dinner, and fish for supper. That's the end of chapter 19. What did you think of that way of fishing? I just think that would be exciting, and I like how the small ones could get through those cracks. Well, it's Maria from Still Dreaming Homestead. I want to pray blessings on you and yours in your house and out of your house, in the day and in the night. And whatever you do, keep dreaming. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to my channel, push the notification bells, and you'll get notified of every video I do. I do stories and I do a lot of other things too. Cooking, I show around my garden and my fruit trees and my dogs and cats. There's a lot of things. So I hope you will subscribe. And if you like this, please share this with others. You can do it on your Facebook or any of your social media. Make sure to let your friends know. All right. I'll be reading to you tomorrow. Good night.